Hey ladies, welcome to A Tea with Me. This is the place where I just talk about things that are on my mind and other topics. Who knows? Today's topic is pretty much being the only. I've had the opportunity to be at several different places. And I was the only person of color there. And one of them was a pretty large event, and I really enjoyed myself there, but it was painfully obvious that I was the only person of color, which is kind of, I never really paid too much attention to it before, but now starting the whole Sisters in Insurance and really becoming true to myself and being more authentic and being of a Black woman and identifying and making sure that my identity is not shrunk down and I'm not trying to assimilate. I'm realizing and starting to notice certain things that I didn't really pay attention to because it's just been that thing. And so it was, I questioned some of the comments people were making and the facts that maybe I was wearing a pin, and I was like, why are you making a comment that I'm wearing my pin? I'm here representing my company, and just small comments that really aren't a big deal in the grand scheme of things, but kind of made me take a step back and was like, why are you saying this? But still being very professional and not saying that question because I was still there to do the job. But then I also had another opportunity to be somewhere, and I fully prepared myself to be the only person of color there. And I mean the only person of color who's not on staff, like the wait staff. And I was shocked. I mean shocked when I actually saw other people there as guests who were Black and who were of different ethnicities. And I was like, oh, dang, I can come here. I think I can actually see myself here instead of being the uncomfortable person, because I strategically made this choice to come to this place and get to know somebody, but I actually looked around the place and instead felt a little bit more comfortable than I probably would have if I hadn't seen any of those other people who looked like me. It was a very interesting thing, because it's not like I haven't ever been in a situation where I'm the only person of color, or even heck, the only woman and the only person of color. So that's an interesting situation where you're there with all men and you literally are the only diverse person there from a gender and race standpoint. That's a little awkward, and you are definitely, unless you are asserting yourself out there and making sure that they know who you are overlooked hard. And they try not to overlook you, but you are fighting, and some days you just don't have that fight in you. But at this other place where I fully expected to be the only person of color and there were other people there, I felt immediately comfortable, as opposed to this conference where I sat in the whole history, and it was one of those places that was exclusive, that didn't allow Jewish, Catholic, or people who were not white. So pretty much you had to be a Protestant and white to go to this particular location. And I felt it. I'm not gonna lie, I felt it. I definitely felt that one. So, this is gonna be a short tea with me because those are just two experiences, and I really can't go into too many details about everything. But I want to hear from you guys. Like, how do you feel when you're the only? Are you starting to notice it? Or if you've been in the industry for longer than, I would say, maybe 5 years, you've experienced it, or even 1 year, you've experienced this. And what are your experiences with it? And how do you handle it? Do you feel like you have to assert yourself a little bit more? Do you feel like that you have to shrink yourself a little bit more? I I want to have a dialogue. I want to talk about what we do as women of color, Black women in insurance, and when we are the only. How do we react? How do we act? How do we present ourselves? Especially if you're in a new situation and you deal with clients, because that's where I see the biggest situation. Because to be honest, I'm the only Black woman on my team, so I deal with it every day and in work, but I can pretty much bring my authentic self into the office, as opposed to having that mask when I'm presenting myself as a client. Like, you have to be in a certain way. You have to present yourself in a certain way when you're talking to clients and you have a third party in there. And so it's a little bit different than maybe how I would present myself internally. I'd be a little bit more assertive internally versus externally. Those kind of things, because people know you a little bit better when you work with them every day. So they really can see the true self, or see your true self. But I don't know, like, let's talk about this, and let me know your thoughts, because I know I'm not the only person out there talking about being the only. So let me know. Hit me up. Remember to like, comment, and share our page, and actually sign up and subscribe, and interact. Hey, if you send me an email, I will respond real quick. All right, ladies, I see you, I hear you, I am you. Thanks for joining me with Tea With Me on this short little episode. Thanks, guys.